see smaller businesses hiring more and not just big corporations.
Cheryl, why do you refer to healthcare as a distraction? In my view, that's almost, Republicans use that phrase to spin. I think that healthcare and those kinds of entitlement has been the largest part of our economy, so it can never be a distraction. I think that it's the core of our economy.
Well, some critics say that...
And they're wrong.
Well, let's bring in our guest here.
Yes, hi, I'm Mary Pendergreen, and I'd like to talk about the fact that while lots of people are talking about what has happened in a year, we need to keep in mind that Obama inherited a hemorrhaging nation with lots and lots of things that needed work. He has assembled a really strong team. Dr. Maxwell talked about all of the women and people of color, as well as a variety of people, including some from the prior administration. The thing that we need to keep in mind is that change takes time. Our systems, our structures have been in place for a very long time. And if indeed President Obama is the organizer that we know him to be, he has a plan in mind and a vision. And many of us understand what that vision is, but oftentimes we get distracted and we end up listening and paying attention to all of the things that's thrown out to muddy the water, like the Tea Party, et cetera. One of the things that we have to remember is that in order for change to take place, it takes some time. So it's not realistic that it's going to happen in a year, but he's done a lot of change, and a lot of the reason that there's so much attention being paid to what he's doing is because he's offering to have a nation that's inclusive, an America that's inclusive. That hasn't been the case. So obviously, we need to accept that change is going to produce some blowback, because in essence, in order for his plans to work, it means that we have to change some directions, and people don't like that. So if we embrace change and criticism and resistance as a part of the movement in terms of getting us to the next phase, and if we can just focus on what's going on now, because when I hear, is he going to be elected in 2012, I'm wanting to hear what can we do now to support his efforts so that indeed he can do and make those changes now rather than focusing on 2012.
Well, you were losing me with the time argument, then you got me back with what can we do now. Because I don't buy the time argument. You know, he's the president of the United States. He's the president of the United States, and I understand that, and I helped get him elected. You know, so we're up the street. We registered 3,000 people in 60 days. We did a lot of work. Yeah. But here's the thing for me. The focus of this administration is misplaced, I think, right at the moment. And you know, this whole thing about healthcare, you can tell me you're blue in the face about the impact on the economy with healthcare. You know, and there certainly need to be some changes there. What we've wound up with after all of this foolishness this year is not something that most people are excited about. You have to understand that. The other thing is, if I had two lines on 125th Street, one end of 125th Street was the healthcare line, the other end of 125th Street was the jobs line. Which line would most of us be in? As a matter of fact, how many people here have someone in their household who is unemployed? And pervasively throughout this community, that's the case. I'm going to find more people that way. So there's some things that the president needs to step in and be Barack about. You know, he needs to rock it like Barack rocks it. You know, and we need to get behind him. There are a couple of things. We somehow think that if we speak up about our issues, somehow we're being too critical of him, and that we're hurting him. All right? If we don't speak up about our issues, there's no way possible that this president can hear us. All right? Somebody stopped me in the street corner a couple of nights ago and said, you know, I think Barack can't hear us. And I replied to him, with those ears? Yeah, Barack could probably hear who, you know? But it's the people around him, I think, right now who are blocking out our voices, and we're not raising them. The other part of that is the whole thing about what we do, what you were getting to. We have to recognize there's some things in these communities that we need to do. We went and we took that Harlem for Obama office and made it into a nonprofit called Harlem For, so we could work change. And some of these other grassroots groups that were working during the campaign, they need to do the same thing so that we can work change. There is no cavalry coming over the hill for us. So we need to get up off it and do something. That's how we ensure re-election.
Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Pamela McPherson Cornelius, and I am a resident of Harlem. And I want to just comment, he said something about